All right, so this one is a very interesting game, and this one, fellas, is the Miami Dolphins and Los Angeles Chargers. This thing is sitting 3 right now. It's a 51 total. This is two teams with a ton of steam, and I got to admit, these are two teams with steam that I actually are behind, right? Like, these are two teams that I actually can understand why they're steamed up. If you look at this Chargers team, dude, I mean, it's a truck whenever you look at the talent on the field. Now, will we actually see them put it to good use? We shall see. You bring in Kellen Moore. It was atrocious last year. It was a crime. Lombardi should be put in football jail for what he did with this offense last year. You have one of the biggest arms at quarterback in the entire NFL, and he had 26th average depth of target. Even though you have one of the best 50-50 guys in the history of the wide receiver position in Mike Williams. I mean, that's about all he does well, but hell, he can go up and get 50-50 balls. There's no doubt about that. Then you get the Dolphins, and if you go back and you look at this Dolphins team, guys, and I know you already have, but when Tua was on the field, this team was really good. And it was just when Tua wasn't out there, they weren't any good. And he's going to be out there at least in game one. What happens after that, we don't know. I love this game. I want nothing to do with this game, Adam, when it comes to betting it. But boy, am I excited for this one. I am all in on this game in week one.
I told you a lie earlier when I said that my biggest difference in my rating versus the market was the Green Bay and Chicago game, because I hadn't looked closely enough at this one. Man, am I heavy on Miami. I am and not on this game in particular, but on the season. Yeah. My rating on Miami, here are the teams I have ahead of the Miami Dolphins: Kansas City, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Dallas. I'm admittedly a Baltimore homer. I've been in the tank for Baltimore, and those are the only teams I have ahead of them. Granted, I'm a little light on Jacksonville considering where everybody else is on Jacksonville. If Jalen Ramsey were still healthy and going to play this whole year, I would be all the way in on Miami. But I think simply putting Vic Fangio in charge of this defense and letting a truly good defensive mind work with the backside of this team, you're in a good spot. And you mentioned Tua, Matt. I'm not going to tell you anything other than Tua Tagovailoa is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL when healthy. I can't. There's been too much evidence to the other side. And Mike McDaniel has shown that he is one of the most creative offensive minds in the game. Now, for the season-long prospects, you're not going to find me on Miami, betting in terms of win totals or anything, because they have one of the 3 hardest schedules in the NFL. So I don't want anything to do with it. But on a week-to-week basis, I really, really, really am going to like Miami this year. All of that said, I'm passing on this game because, as you said, the Chargers are the other side of the hype train. I'm actually right about on market with the Chargers. I have them about 1.5 better than the average team on a neutral. I know you're higher than that on them. I need to see it with a new offensive coordinator and with a new defensive coordinator and Brandon Staley. I don't know if he's 2021 Brandon Staley or 2022 Brandon Staley.
Steven, I did this exercise whenever we did the season division previews, but I just, again, for our new audience out there, they were 3-0 with Tua. He got concussed. They lose their next 3 games. He comes back. They win 5 games in a row. Then they play like a really tough stretch in the schedule where they get the Niners, the Bills, and the Chargers. Now, they do lose those, but he plays well in those games. They're playing the Packers on Christmas. They are up 20-10 with 2:40 left in the first half. He gets obviously concussed to everyone in the world except the doctors on the sideline. He goes on from that point to throw for 81 yards and 3 interceptions. They lose the game. By the way, he doesn't play another snap the rest of the year. When he was out on the field, Tua and this team was elite. There's no questions about it. It's just he wasn't out there all that much. Well, we know he's going to be out there this week, and we can't just assume he's going to be hurt. It's interesting to me to catch 3 points, but I am, like Adam said, I'm higher on the Chargers than most people too. And so I can't pull the trigger on it, but man, am I looking forward to this game. I love this game. My favorite game of the week by far.
You guys have given great explanations of both teams. I don't need to go deeper on that. I'll just give you one other angle and way to look at this. And Matt, at times in the past, you hate when I do this, but it's week 1 and we have no other games to go off of.
That's true. Let's go back 8 years. Let's talk about the Chargers and the Dolphins 8 years ago. What happened there?
We're going back week 14 last year.
Back when Philip Rivers only had 14 kids. Like, let's do it. Right? Yeah, let's go.
Only the 18th time that Rivers was down 4 points with 30 seconds left and no timeouts. All right. Week 14 last year, these two teams played in the same place that they're going to play this week in Los Angeles. Both of the starting quarterbacks played in that game. Keenan Allen was back, full complement. Dolphins, full complement of receivers. So really the only biggest changes, because these are basically the same two rosters last year as they were this year. The two biggest differences are that the Chargers will have their star tackle Rashawn Slater back, and obviously Kellen Moore, the big upgrade at offensive coordinator for the Chargers. Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator change for the Dolphins. In that game, Miami was -3. Now it's +3. Is there enough of a difference here with the rosters and the coaching changes to be a 6-point difference from that game? I'm skeptical of that. I bet Miami +3. Go ahead and shoot me down if you think that's bad process. But I'm pretty bullish on both of these teams, and if I can get 3 on the Dolphins here, I'm pretty satisfied with that, especially in a place that we know has the least home field advantage in the NFL.
We could actually say maybe even negative, because I mean, maybe like
negative,
first game of the year, Adam. I mean, listen, first game of the year, it's probably pretty easy for Dolphins fans to just plan to make the trip to LA, right? I mean, like, hey, they'll go to Disney one day, and then they go to like the Chargers game the day. Like, you're probably going to see half and half Dolphins fans, because if there's ever a road trip that you can make easily, it's like just plan on first game of the year and like, all right, we're going to go over there, we'll go to LA, take in some Disney stuff, we'll go down and spend some money down on Rodeo Drive or whatever, and then we'll go and do that. So no home field advantage whatsoever.
No, and I'll tell you what I really am hoping for in this game, and the only way that I would get involved, man, do I want 2 bad drives to open this game. I want 2 3-and-outs so badly, because I will be hammering the in-game over if I get that opportunity. It's sitting 51 right now. I think that's probably about right. But, man, if this thing gets down under 49 after a drive or two, like, yeah, let me in.
Receiving yards for Jalen Waddle sitting at 70, Keenan Allen sitting at 68, Mike Williams like 86 on Tyreek Hill. I see a flamethrower firefight in this thing. I don't know. It would be. I don't know if I could push an under on any of those guys. If we're being honest, I don't know if it's even possible for me to do it.